This is news on Good News Catholic Communications. I am Betty Ann Lazarus. In the headlines, Bishop Clyde Harvey leads AEC delegation to Latin American and Caribbean Synod Continental Assembly. Prepare, focus, and stick with the plan, says Sister Juanita Berkeley, as the Universal Church prepares to usher in the Lenten season. And the solution to the crisis in Haiti still at the top of Caribbean leaders' agenda. We'll have details to these and more when we return.
Counting how much days before Ash Wednesday and the beginning of Lent. So why playing all this music and dancing so much? I listening to all my calypso, doing all my dancing before Lent start. Why? Well, you see, in the old days, there was no calypso or dancing for the whole 40 days of Lent.
You joking, Ram?
No. The whole island used to observe Lent. Everybody fasting, praying, going to church for the week, and the stations of the cross.
But that won't happen now.
Maybe not, but I'm still doing my thing. Come, child, come, join me on the floor.
We have a box like that one at school. If I give up candy, I will put the money that it costs in the box. All that we collect will go to the children's home.
We can do one at home, and we'll do the same. I may even get one on the job if I get permission, and all the money will go to an institution for the needy. Have a good afternoon, sister.
I wish they will give up their gadgets for Lent. That will be great.
Welcome back. The Universal Church has entered the continental phase of the synodal process as Bishop Clyde Martin Harvey leads the delegation from the Antilles Episcopal Conference to the Latin American and Caribbean Continental Assembly. The assembly is taking place in the Dominican Republic from Monday 20th February to the 24th. At these continental assemblies, participants will reread the journey made and continue the listening and discernment process.
I think two things are coming out of this continental phase, and I'm already seeing it. One is the awareness that you belong to a wider church. I was very happy when at the first of the meetings for this phase that I attended on Zoom, I met bishops and priests from Latin America. There was a concern expressed for Haiti because the Haitian representatives couldn't come, couldn't tune in, you know. There was a concern for what was going on in Venezuela. And you have that wider sense of church. So that is one thing. But then to be able to see, and this is what I, as representing the Caribbean bishops, would bring to that meeting, that it's not so much a question of documents. It's a question of whether, as we talk to each other, we are able to discern what is happening, what is the good fruit of the experiences that we're having that we can share with others.
Caribbean Community CARICOM is maintaining its position that a solution to the unrest and violence in Haiti must come from within. CARICOM's united position on Haiti was resoundingly echoed by regional leaders during the recently held 44th regular summit of CARICOM heads of government meeting held in the Bahamas. Bahamian Prime Minister Philip Davis said the region would benefit if Haiti is again fully functioning as a state. According to Davis, the region should learn from the failures of past efforts to help rather than use those disappointments as an excuse for inaction. Prime Minister Davis is convinced that through prayer, leaders can agree to a series of concrete steps to help move towards a solution for the Haitian people and the region as a whole. CARICOM Secretary General Dr. Carla Bonnet said the group will continue to support Haitians in their effort to find peace. Moving on now, Ash Wednesday will be observed this week, ushering in the season of Lent throughout the Universal Church. The season of Lent is reflective of Jesus' 40 days in the wilderness ahead of his crucifixion and death. Lent is observed under the pillars of prayer, fasting, and almsgiving. We are now joined by Sister Juanita Berkeley to discuss Lenten preparation and commitment. Sister Juanita, what would you say to Catholic faithfuls? What would you say to those who want to come back into that season at this time of the year?
Lent is, in its definition, a season of joy, new life, hope, and positive development. The word Lent means officially spring. And we know, if we are overseas in those countries with 4 seasons, that Lent is a beautiful season. Lovely flowers, new growth, new life. And Lent is what we look forward to in one sense as Christians in order to help us to grow and become closer to our beloved Lord. Now, it's an invitation from the Lord. The church gives it to us for us to say yes to coming closer to him who calls us to draw near to his heart. I would recommend for Lent, speaking from my own journey and my own wanting to have faithful and fruitful Lents, that we make a plan. We plan. What is it I would like to improve on or develop during Lent? Yes, I might eat less chocolates. Yes, I might drink less of the soda that I like. But the important thing is, how can I pray more? How can I fast more? Or how can I give more alms?
What advice would you give the church in terms of sticking with the plan? How can they prepare and stick with the plan?
That's a very good question. And it's as in any primary school, you know the primary school age, it's like keeping a child focused and on task. As human beings, we tend to get distracted. It's normal, it's natural. What we should refrain from doing is getting depressed, giving up, or throwing in the towel. I haven't been able to keep up to this, therefore what's the point? Let me go back and do what I was doing before. No. By God's grace, by prayer and asking God for that strength, and refocusing by having reminders around your house, on your mirror, in your room, near your bed, what it is you plan to do for Lent, what promise have you made, and try to keep that to the T. When you fail, let us be humble enough to say, Lord, today I didn't make it. Help me tomorrow. Forgive me. Give me the strength I need. Because without God's grace, we cannot do it. So it's not giving up, and it's realizing that God is the one who gives the grace for us to make that journey.
We are fully aware that this is not the 60s or the 80s or the 90s. The distractions are many. Sister, how would you like to advise parents and guardians in terms of keeping that momentum and spirit of prayer in the home?
there is a lot more to quote unquote fight against, and there is a lot more that we are exposed to bombarding us every day. The noise, the activity, the demands, it can be a lot. And therefore, to keep that momentum, we must make a sacred space. If that sacred space is early in the morning where we have to get up at 4 or 5 o'clock, or late in the night where we stay up when it gets really quiet, the children may be sleeping, and we have that moment with God to ourselves. That is where we can actually get our strength to renew ourselves, and then the next day bring the family together. Pray together as a family. Discuss what we can do for Lent. It may be the moment where you can bring your children together. Everyone comes home, homework is done, different times of work. There is an hour or 15 minutes we can use. Let's pray together. If even it's the Our Father prayer, and we say, what are we doing for Lent? How can we become better?
What key advice would you give to Catholics, to those who observe Lent, in terms of remaining faithful to the process?
For me, when I look at it, in the journey that Jesus made in the wilderness, it is a beautiful symbolism of the Christian journey to getting closer to God. The saints have made those journeys in many ways. The giving up, the going into the wilderness, is really denying myself, denying ourselves of what we love, of what takes up all of our time and attention, and what puts a barrier or wall between me and God. So when I compare that journey to Jesus going into the wilderness, not giving in to his emotions and feelings of hunger, the human desire for power, and other emotions, I realize that this journey really is a powerful and spiritual one. If I go on that journey seriously and with strength and with determination and with God at my side.
Still with the Lenten observance, this time we are talking Lenten Mission. The Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception will host its Lenten Mission from March 21st to the 24th at the Cathedral of Immaculate Conception, Church Street, St. George's. Our Lady Help of Christians Parish, Bolio, will hold its first Lenten event, a 3-night Lenten mission from Friday 3rd, Saturday 4th, and Sunday 5th of March on the Vendome basketball court, beginning at 6:30 p.m., led by Father Colin Jackson of the Diocese of Kingstown, St. Vincent. The second Lenten event will also be 3 nights, this time Friday 10th, Saturday 11th, and Sunday 12th March at the Gazebo in Bolio, led by a 3-person team from Trinidad and Tobago. All young people from all 4 communities are invited to both events. And still talking Lenten Mission, the St. Michael Parish Birch Grove Lenten Mission is scheduled for March 13th to the 17th from 7 p.m. with Father Gerald Paul. We encourage our viewers and listeners to stay tuned to Good News Catholic Communications for details as to other upcoming Lenten Mission and activities. As of March 12, 2023, Inter-Caribbean Airways will add 2 aircrafts to its fleet and an expanded flight schedule to service Antigua, Barbados, Dominica, Grenada, Guyana, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. With this expanded fleet, Inter-Caribbean now offers travelers enhanced schedule options and improved intra-regional travel with greater connectivity among the islands. Flights to and from Barbados will double, with more flights going non-stop to St. Vincent and Grenada, offering greater availability to these destinations. Inter-Caribbean is also launching new non-stop flights between St. Vincent and St. Lucia to give fast connection between these 2 destinations. Regional travel is a major talking point, and that there is some good news for those likely affected. Moving on now, CERT trainers under the auspices of the Youth Emergency Action Committee were recently engaged in a refreshers training session aimed at ensuring that volunteers are on top of their game regarding their emergency disaster response skills. The one-day session was held at Camp Celine in collaboration with the Royal Grenada Police Force. Chad Haley, Corporal of Police attached to the Fire Department of the RGPF, engaged participants in the area of light search and rescue and fire safety.
They did the basic course, and now we do our follow-up refreshers, and where we would kind of advance and do target certain areas. And it's important because the thing about it is that with the basic, they may do a lot of theory. But now we are doing a lot more practical sessions and try to kind of bring it as realistic as possible. So at least, because training is important, because if you spend a few years without doing it, then you become dull. And most times you don't remember. But refreshers are always there to keep you current to the changes and what is going on. We're doing a lot of scenario based. So the scenario based deals with all the training that they have done on different scenarios, right? With injuries, packaging a victim, removal of a victim, and doing first aid. So when they pose with a scenario, they would have to look at team dynamics and problem solving, how they relate as a team, because in situation people would definitely have different ideas and ideologies. So they have to be able to work in a team to finish a mission.
Maverick Carmichael, another facilitator, spoke to our news team on the importance of keeping abreast with life-saving skills.
Through this training, this is one of the training which we provide in first aid, and it will help. Right, we have seen improvement. We have some of our members who have been trained at responding to actual incidents, fire incidents, and actual incidents where a person has fallen and been attacked. We've never been able to respond, and thankfully so, to actual drowning, but these are some of the things and ways in which we do. Most of them would be familiar with each other. We're having fun, but not only fun, we're learning what we have to learn, and it's a step up a little bit advanced in what we wanted them to do.
The approximately 42 participants were drawn from Petite Martinique, Carriacou, and mainland Grenada.
And the refresher course is helping us to develop our skills in case of an emergency and how is the best situation to go about it.
Which aspect of this morning's exercise you think really hit out at you?
Oh, that would be with the fractures and with when you're entering a scene and how to go about it. Then, like the steps that needed to be taken for your safety and also the safety of the victim or the casualty.
Normally there are situations, and when we call like the authorities and things, then the response wasn't as quick as all we are trained to. So if we are on the scene at the moment, they could just call us like Yak now is like people on the scene first, so we could actually take charge and do what we have to do until the authority come in place. So it's very important. Navigation, yes, we did like compass, like in case if you're lost, you could find your way back. We also did like search and rescue, that is one, and how fire, like small fires, how to extinguish things and stuff and things like that.
What has been very new to you and really impressed you?
It's like the search and rescue part. It was very nice, like how to handle a patient the right way, because normally you see instantly somebody getting a damage, they will just pick up the person, throw them in a vehicle and just go. But with this training we did now, we find a proper way how to actually carry these situations.
Presently, like in the moment when I was doing the training, I was just doing what I had to do, but now like I actually see the value of it and how much it could benefit me as a member of YAC, like in terms of responding to my community and even helping Grenada on a whole.
How relevant do you see today's refresher school?
Very relevant, because the topics that we touched on today, some of it, we went through it quickly during the CERT training. So when we were going through like fractures and so, in the training, like I didn't go in that depth on during the few days we had. So today was beneficial to me, very beneficial.
I find it very interesting and educational because we don't really in Petite Martinique get to learn about these things.
That's it for the major developments. A recap of the headlines when we return.
Amigos, les pregunto, ¿están dispuestos a decir que sí?
A meeting of young people from all over the world with the Pope. A party of youth. A bath. A gathering among cultures. Moments of sharing and faith. Young people as protagonists, seeking for peace, union, fraternity, among peoples from all over the world. A challenge for all.
No se metan en la cola de la historia, sean protagonistas. Jueguen para adelante, pateen adelante, construyan un mundo mejor.
A transforming and memorable experience. Lisbon 2023. Are you ready?
And now for a recap of the headlines. Bishop Clyde Harvey leads AEC delegation to Latin American and Caribbean Synod Continental Assembly. Prepare, focus, and stick with the plan, says Sister Juanita Berkeley, as the Universal Church prepare to usher in this Lenten season. A solution to the crisis in Haiti still at the top of Caribbean leaders' agenda. On behalf of all those who made this newscast possible, I'm Betty and Lazarus. Thanks for staying with us.
The season of Lent is fast approaching. We took the time out today to get some responses about Lent from some young Grenadians. Do you know what Lent is?
Lent is about Sabbath.
This one?
Sabbath.
Sabbath?
What?
How many days are there in Lent?
Well, there are 40 days in Lent.
Do you know what these 40 days represent?
No.
What's your name?
Wayne.
Okay, Wayne. Do you know how many days there are in Lent?
Yes, 48 to 49 days.
Sorry?
You can do it! 48 and 49 days.
You serious? Well, it's actually 40 days. 40 days represent the time that Jesus spent in the desert, right? Okay. Can you spell Lent for us?
Yes. L-E-N-T.
Nice.
So, one of you tell me, why is Lent 40 days?
Lent is 40 days, 40 days because that's how long Jesus would stay in the desert without food or water.
Okay.
You took my idea.
Okay, what you eating here?
A sandwich.
What's inside?
Salami.
Salami. It tastes good?
Yeah, boy.
So during Lent, people usually give up something that they like. What do you think you'll give up during Lent?
Meat.
Meat? For a whole 40 days, you think you'll make it?
No.
But you go try. All right. What about you?
Grass.
Okay, grass. Okay. What about you?
I would do it for a whole 40 days with fruits and vegetables.
Only eating fruits and vegetables? Okay, that's very nice. What about you?
Grass.
Grass too? Do you know what Lent is?
Sure. Lent refers to the 40 days Jesus spent in the desert, fasting and praying.
1 hour later.
And where he was able to overcome, at the end of it, able to overcome the temptation of the devil.
2 hours later.
And for us as Catholics, it also brings us to the point where it's about us going into that period, fasting, praying, almsgiving.
3 hours later.
Can you move it along? I'm all out of time cards.
I would not say do it during Lent, but it should be more amplified during Lent.
Okay, thank you, Pastor. Do you know what you want to pray for during Lent?
Yes, I want to pray for forgiveness and for the ones who hate me, that they will have a good life.
Oh my God! Wow!
What do you think Grenadians should ask for forgiveness for during Lent?
I think Grenadians should ask for forgiveness and hope that the new Prime Minister to do his job well and help Grenada through its tough times.
What do you think Grenadians should ask for forgiveness for during Lent?
Well, I don't want to go under the microscope with it, but you know, right now there is so much of vindictiveness and so much of hatred going on around the country. I think that as a nation we should pray for that hatred to be removed and for the vindictiveness that is ongoing to cease.